interesting. You know, when it comes to Africa, well, we always, while some people are moving forward, we are marching backwards. I think whether we're learning from Michael Jackson's moonwalking or moon dance or whichever it is. Well, let me say good morning to Amayo Jevene. I hope you are doing very, very well. Good morning to you, and thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate your devotion when we come on. Okay, how was the program yesterday for those who missed the Niger voices? But I want us always. Good morning to Amayo. How was the Niger voices yesterday? For those who missed the Niger voices, but I want us always.
Just bear with me, I'm trying to sort out the audio on this side.
Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you because we're transmitting here as well, and sometimes there's a bit of delay. We got to be live with you before we continue to join the broadcast from this side. So that is the reason. Maybe you could just take it back a little bit so that I can respond to that properly.
Yeah, I was saying for those who missed the Niger voices yesterday, I say it all the time. It's a Wednesday that you don't want to miss. Every Wednesday from 18 hours, reform. We're talking about referendum. We're talking about it.
I say there's a lot of Nigerians out there. Remember, a country that has a lot of stakeholders. The stakeholders are not just the politicians. The stakeholders are also different individuals. That have different interests.
Okay, first of all.
So when it comes to the situation in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians are asking the question, which we've been asking as well: are we going to go into a new constitution that will bring down the old constitution and allow millions of Nigerians to decide, away from the military decree? Or is it going to be an election? Yesterday we saw, the whole glamour of Atiku intention to become, the Nigerian president come 2023. So that means, we're still waiting for, the current vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, that is currently trending on Twitter this morning for him to run as well, which we're going to have to see whether that is going to happen. So the conversation yesterday, was all around the election, constitution, or a referendum for millions of Nigerians that are saying that we are not Nigerians. We are the indigenous people that was put together, during this 1914 marriage that is no longer sustainable. Quite a lot of people are still very skeptical. Some of our listeners from around the world, when people can say that Nigeria can never be divided, if only we eliminate corruption, Nigeria will be a better place. Some say, let us allow the Yoruba. Some are even still calling God. Do we have the law in place for those Yoruba? But I also still believe in Nigeria. So you can see that the conversation is still very, very mixed, especially for those that want opt-out for Nigeria and those that are not fully sure. But that was part of the conversation on Niger Voices yesterday, and that conversation doesn't seem to be ending at all.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, and that was some tidbits, okay? Just snip view of what happened yesterday on the Niger Voices. So if you missed out on that, please just go to our social media platform on the Niger Voices, type it all the conversations that we've had in the past all there. Okay, I was saying for those, well, let's start it with this sad. Okay, let me take it from here. The Inspector General of Police, Osman Alkali Baba, has declared war against economic saboteurs across the nation. Some of them say that's quite an interesting topic or an interesting thing to do. But my worry or my concern here is there are big hooks in Nigeria who are raking the money in. Those who get contracts and never, the contract is on paper, is executed on paper, but when you go on the ground itself, nothing has been done. Now, what is he talking about? Is he going to go about those big hooks? Which, when the government, the president came into power, or the current government came into power, was saying that they were going to go after, corruption and stuff, but we've not seen anyone who has been sentenced so far. So, who is he talking about there?
Well, it's actually talking about the police themselves and some maybe individuals that he believes are trying to sabotage the current system that is in place. The question we should ask is if people are being paid properly, if the welfare is being taken care of, I won't see any reason why anyone wants to come out and also protest against the injustice and the also not paying a full salary for those that are meant to be paying their salary in the first place. So he's actually talking about those that would be using these coming protest, which is about just 2 days from today. So on 26th, the police are saying that we will come out and protest, even though the presidency have talked about it as well. But this is exactly what we discuss all the time when it comes to not doing the needful for millions of civil servants that are risking their life. Just about a couple of days ago, we saw our police officer and a mopo, a military officer, were gunned down because of the insecurity in Castina, where over 34 people were killed. So the current Inspector General of Police, like you said, Usman Alik Baba, has declared war against economic saboteurs across the nation. Specifically, the Inspector General restated commitment of the Nigerian police force to maintain sustained fight against illegal bunkering, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal elements in the country. He was making this declaration yesterday during a parade of a suspect in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, represented by the acting First Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi. The IG revealed that the Inspector General of Police Special Task Force on Petroleum and Illegal Bunkering arrested 42 suspects, impounded about 41 trucks illegal petroleum products.
Well, we hope that they are able to fight corruption. Truly. I mean, I wish that our authorities or the security agencies, I mean, the government is able to fight corruption so that the little that we get, we are able to use it. I mean, around ourselves and give people at least a surviving chance of life. But what am I just saying as well? Nigeria is full of drama every day. Nigeria is a drama village. In the issue of a security service like the police, does the police have good antecedents? Who seek equity? Okay, who seek equity must come with clean hands. So he's saying that, well, those who are seeking equity, the IGP and all these people, they've already got dirty hands. So what can they do there? Quite an interesting one. Okay, now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, Justice Oko says as well, Nigerians, what is Boko Haram and what are they fighting for? One or Islamic State like the Taliban? So let's come straight now to some other headline coming out of Nigeria today, the 24th of March 2022 at exactly 11:15. Autonomy disregard FOLAYEMI Akeredolu's opposition. NULG tells Buhari. We know about this autonomy. Currently, there's a lot of issues because some of the 774 local government that we have in Nigeria doesn't seem to have the full autonomy as against the one that we have here in the United Kingdom. The Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees has decried the negative positions of one of the governors, Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State and Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, both in the southwest, respectively, over the struggle for local government autonomy, saying the two southwest governors were the major problem behind the realization of both political and financial autonomy for the third tier of the government in the country. And this would then take me quickly to this video that I was saying earlier when we came on board. Let's listen to that before we move on again in the conversation.
Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, well, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now. Borrow money of the future and eat it now.
So those are the type 1 and type 2. Let's watch the other video that is also coming up.
Government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where's that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of.
So there are two types of government. Government is broke, but we see that the current governor of Anambra says, I only made 300 million naira with a huge amount of debt, while the previous governor is still answering charges against, money that was missing. So you could see that as we go back to link that to the autonomy of the state local government that is meant to be the link between the people and the government is no longer functioning. With 774 local government, some of them are already in the hands of the terrorist organization like the Boko Haram and likewise ISIS, where people are actually paying taxes to them as well. So I'm going to take quickly one or two more, come back again to you in the studio. Electoral Act, National Assembly panels appeal tackles Judge Malami insists on amendment. Also, convention, Buhari orders APC to refund monies to candidates who stepped down as well. There is a crisis currently going on in OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, regarding an appointment. It just seems that the Ooni of Ife, one of the monarch, has also intervened in that communication that came out as well. We're just waiting for that to load up. Once again, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. The 19 minutes past 11, as we continue to review some of those headlines as well. So while we are still waiting for that, to pop up, from here, let's go straight to some other headline that is also outside as well. The case of NNAMDI KANU is still also out there. But let's touch on this. A drunk soldier has opened fire on Borno resident, killed a 3-year-old, 8 others, according to the news coming out of Borno State, in the last 1 hour. Let me go back to that story of the protest against Obafemi Awolowo University Vice Chancellor's appointment within legal rights, according to Ooni. The Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has cautioned indigents and residents of the town protesting against the appointment of a non-native as the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife. The monarch also assured workers and students of the institution of safety of lives and property. The Ooni, in a statement by his Director of Media and Public Affairs, Moses Olafe, on Wednesday, promised the protesters that their agitation will be given adequate attention, saying protests were legitimate right and a way to pass message of dissatisfaction across relevant authority. The statement read in part, over the years, the good people of Ife have been superb hosts to the university, even as they enroll their children and equally join qualified workers to qualify hands to work in the OAU, a citadel of learning. The Ife community is proud to have partnered and still partnering with the institution through the House of Oduduwa on viable programs and projects capable of projecting Ile-Ife to the outside world as an ancient city ready for the progress and development. While Oba Ogunwusi has rallied major stakeholders to address the issue at hand, Kabiyesi appeals for calm, calling on all law-abiding citizens to go about their normal businesses without fear. The good relation between the town and the Gon remains as strong as ever, particularly to the benefit of the younger ones in and outside the university. OAU is Ife, Ife is OAU, and we shall continue to cohabit in peace for progress. So that is the message coming from one of the first-class monarchs, the Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II. So I'm going to take one more, come back to you straight in the studio. Once again, it is Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me go back slightly to the other news before we come back again to you in the studio, on this particular edition of the morning show. There is currently frustrated Nigerians that are protest blocking the major road in the capital city in Abuja over the instant killings. So much killings in Nigeria. Let me come now to you in the studio.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Quite an interesting topic that you picked up there. But let me read Amayo's statement. He said, Army killing 3 innocent kids in Borno State, a case of injustice in Nigeria. The revolution they are afraid of is loading soon. That's quite an interesting one. But let's look at this, the OAU that you're talking about, the Obafemi Awolowo University. Now, what has been the criteria of appointing the chancellor or the vice chancellor, whichever is appropriate?
Well, a lot of people will say as long as they qualify, to have, the qualification and the rights, knowledgeable to become a vice chancellor. But it's always an issue, not just in Ile-Ife. This also happened in some other state like Lagos State. I believe Lagos also had a kind of similar situation as well. But I think why, we have seen this protest in the last almost 3 days now, that people have, they've actually taken all kind of rituals into the front building of this university that I've watched the video, and you can see that, the indigent doesn't seem to be pleased that they have not been given the opportunity, for a very long time. It's not because of this particular person. Is according to what I know and I've read, is that, this institution have not given the indigent, that same opportunity. So again, it is not just about the king discussing this. Even, it is crazy. Soyinka faulted protesting Ife indigent. Oni caution protesting Ife indigent against unlawful act. Akeredolu, Oyetola, the both two governors of Ondo State and Osun State, where the universities has also condemned protest, hoodlum dung sacrifice in front of the OAU. So you can see it's a very, very big one. The association also said those that staged the protest had the right to express their feeling. It added that Tira also considered it strange that scared costumes, peripheral, and other items synonymous with traditional religion adherents were adorned by the protester. You could see that they've actually taken this, to the extreme by bringing rituals right in front of the university.
Wow. Rituals to using that to manipulate the appointment of a chancellor. Wow, that's quite an interesting one. Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. So Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let's move on to the other stories making the round. But before that, the PDP, how many people have thrown their hats into the ring for the 2023 election?
Well, like I said, yes, it was a glamour one for them in Abuja when Atiku also came out to say, well, he will give it another go, and he believes that he has the right, requirement and the right, understanding of moving Nigerian forward. It was a full-packed, convention all in Abuja. But the question they ask is, I know there is also someone like Dele Momodu that is also contesting under the PDP. I believe Peter Obi also have an interest, but we have to wait and see, because he did say that until the, the zoning is brought to Southeast, that is when he will put his head in the ring. So far so good. It looks like, PDP has now also have Atiku. We know that the former Senate at the 8th Assembly, Bukola Saraki, might be putting his intention as well out very soon, because he's been speaking to different stakeholders and likewise, saying that when he's given the opportunity, all his cabinet is going to be youth.
Okay. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Some updates from there. Amayo says, Africa is my continent. Yoruba nation is my country. Africans, wake up. I see future Africans being repatriated back to Africa. Well, that will be the day that we'll see it all. But it's not coming away from Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Archie, as we continue to review some more other stories coming out of Nigeria this morning. I'm just looking at the video coming Central Bank of Nigeria unveils maize pyramid in Kaduna. That is coming as well from there. The Niger Delta Elders Forum has urged Buhari to inaugurate the NDDC board. Again, we do know that the situation, especially with this kind of bodies, that not that they've not inaugurated them in the past, but it's also according to them to dose the tension. What do we know about the NDDC and what is the full meaning? It's called the Niger Delta Development Commission, determined to make a difference, but maybe to the pocket of individuals or not to full extent of all the citizens. The Niger Delta Forum has earnestly urged President Muhammadu Buhari to inaugurate the NDDC governing board in accordance with the law to guarantee equitable representation of the 9 constituent states, according to Chief Tonye Ogbobula, National President, Niger Delta Forum. Inaugurating the substantive board of NDDC will inevitably dose the increased but avoidable tension in the region, thereby ensure the stoppage of crude oil pipeline vandalization, which has suddenly reared up again in Niger Delta to the detriment of the nation. The group stated that it is truly saddened by the current report in the international and the national media of a renewed attack on the crude oil pipeline in Niger Delta, which have forced major international companies such as Shell Petroleum and Archie to declare force majeure as a result of their inability to meet their contractual daily crude oil production. So you know that the reason why there's this destruction of the pipeline is not just because the people wants to do so, but sometimes when they look at the amount of wealth coming out from their resources, the damage of their their riverine where they do fishing a lot, then it end up become where these elders are saying, let's put together these NDC governing body quickly so that the 9 constituents will have to take back to their to those constituents, and there will be less vandalization of the pipeline as well. So again, let's come back to the business wise, and we continue to talk about more of those that are also demanding the self-determination out of Nigeria. According to 7 members of the CBN Monetary Policy Committee confirmed by the Senate, also Nigerian boss highlight value of corporate governance in capital, and likewise MTN Group reposition appointment new COO to drive 2025 strategy. So let me take us straight to the social media so we can manage everything together. Like I said, trending at #1 with about 5,200 tweets. Run Osibajo, run is the hashtag trending this morning. Article is trending at #5, likewise as well. So let's see why Osibajo is hashtag run Osibajo run. So according to Adewumi Collins, says someone called this man a mere commissioner some years back, but today the person is politically deranged and the star boy is the next eye for the 2023 presidency. But some will argue that what has been, his job, as part of this government where there's killings and maiming and the inflation and the lack of, the issues affecting majority of the Nigerian students today, and those that have also graduated that are riding Okada all over the country, and those that are being killed. Like I'm going to be giving us a background of this young, innocent Igbo girl that was killed by the DSS. That picture is just popping up behind you there, as you can see. Her name is Chineria. She was killed just as this young girl was killed in Lagos on the BRT. And just likewise, this other young girl that is coming up as well was killed in Lagos during the peaceful protest that she was not involved as well. So you can see that more young Nigerians have been killed, but there's less been talked about by the vice president himself. So we're going to see how that is going to be managed by those that are asking him to run as he wants to run as well. So let's go and now look at some other conversation around Nigeria on social media this morning at exactly 11:32. Ifa Funshaw at Funshaw Graphics says, I am sick and tired of waking up every day, reading the news of Fulani militia killings, reading police brutality in the south of Nigeria, reading people fighting themselves over PDP and APC. I am sick and tired that people still believe Nigeria will get better by voting their candidate. Again, the governor of Anambra State says, I attended my first virtual meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum today. It was an interesting moment to interact with my brother governors from other states. Again, remember that the previous governor is answering questions from the EFCC for looting an incompleted project and money missing and all sorts. So we saw the video where it was, you wonder that when they are in power, they believe they are mini God until they leave the power. We saw him, even though the video that was out there, the person in question that put out the video is now going through a disciplinary, from the EFCC, because that video was not meant to have come out at all. It was in his little shop, sitting down there, drinking bottled water, and you wonder that some 3 weeks ago, you will not even have access to somebody like that. So the current governor of Anambra says there's only about 300 million left, but like the video that they played, the audio I played earlier says there's type 1 and type 2 of some of these governors that go in there spending billions but never return back to say it is not working. Again, Uzuma Chimeze was murdered by the Nigerian police at their police station in Ebonyi State. Another Biafran brother gone. Uzuma Chimeze was murdered by the Nigerian police in Abakaliki station for being a Biafran. Uzuma is from Ishehu in Ebonyi State. We are informing the world community ahead of time so they will know Nigeria is the aggressor. This is coming from Alt Kalafrok Rock. Let's take more again from some of the other headlines as well. Nigeria and its ally plan was to wipe out Biafran people from 1966 to 19. You can see that there's still this bitterness of what took place during the Biafra war by most of the Biafrans are present today. Also by MAZI KANU says a British and a Biafran citizen was blindfolded, hand and leg, cuffed and rendered to Nigeria. What is difficult here? Tagging the SCD, which is the Foreign Affairs in UK, asking the Nigerian governor and the State House of Kenya how Mr. was kidnapped all the way back into Nigeria. But the Kenya government is still saying that, as far as they know, NNAMDI KANU is still in their record that he hasn't left as well. Kalu Aja at Fin Plant Kalu Aja 1, largest cassava producer in the world. Gari is expensive. Largest exporter of crude oil, PMS, which is known as petrol, is expensive. Largest exporter of LNG in Africa, cooking gas is expensive. Largest rice mill in Africa, rice is expensive. Largest cement plant in Africa, cement is expensive. So you can see that this individual has said to us that we are the land. A 12-year-old was defiled and pepper was used along that. A 12-year-old from the northeast, the southwest, or also from the middle belt, as well as everybody is facing the brunt of being a Nigerian. So let's now look at one more and come back again to you in the studio. There's still a lot of question to some of the killings. Without hostage, none of you is in control of your future. This was MAZI NNAMDI KANU in one of his conversations, but being put back again by at N Biafran Blood. 3 years and 5 weeks since her adoption in Dapchi, Yobe State, a United States-based group, U.S. a Christian schoolgirl still in the minds of so many people as well. This person says, at Nigerian troops, for the love of the country, victory is assured, support the Nigerian troops. I'm going to come back now again to you in the studio. It is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki Kojo, and that's the destruction of pipelines at the southeast. And now, what Frank here as well? Let me say good morning to you, Frank.
Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listener. Olayomi, good morning to you.
Good morning,
good morning to Felix and all our listeners, especially those in Nigeria.
Now, interestingly, we were talking about this story that Olayomi just brought up pertaining to the disruption of pipeline.
Yeah.
Now, I was asking the question that we know that the companies that have the contract there are supposed to lead somebody or for the environment. They need to.
Corporate social
yeah.
responsibility.
But does Nigeria has any of the sort And if they have, are they using it? Because if the people become so desperate and have to go to the extent of breaking this pipeline to siphon the fuel from it or the crude oil from it, then where are we going?
Actually, if it's still happening today, it means that we've not learned anything from the past. Most companies will have a component of a social responsibility budget. But the other question is that even if that money is set aside and given to the authorities, who are those who take hold of that money and what do they do to pay it? Because, I mean, just like aid money, that will be okay, we're giving this money to the blind. The money will go to some places and it doesn't get to the blind. We know, is this Saraki? What's his name?
Saraki.
No, the one who was killed.
Yeah. I can Sarawiwa.
Yeah.
We know some of these issues started or as well the Boni lands issue. So if today we still have the same problem, then we want either our leaders, community leaders, our chiefs are not doing enough. Because the chief should now be demanding that the elders of those communities should now be demanding that the corporate social responsibility budget is supposed to help the community. How much is it? Who's taking the money? And what are some of the projects? Again, the chiefs, are they also receiving some of those money and building big palaces and marrying more? Comes to them, they sit on it without ensuring that that money is invested to generate jobs. Are you getting here? And we might have to even rethink. Can we have a system where we say, okay, if you're going to do this over here, then you must create this number of jobs. What are the projects? Probably set up an allied industry, or probably a company that can employ some people, but not just giving that money out to achieve that, to go and marry and buy a more SUVs and other things. So we need to do everything. But the bottom line is that actually we've not learned if it's still happening. But you see, actually, aside that money being given out, that alone cannot be solved. The joblessness of the in that, all you know, the people who are doing this might not even be coming from that community. Yeah. They might not be coming from that community. The joblessness of the situation of the country is what is, as we put it, some people commit crime not because they want to commit it, but because they are left up to you. Might think they have a choice. Yeah. But to them, they have no choice. Yeah. It reminds me of a recording that I listened to, and that recording was someone who was trying to siphon money to fraud some mobile phone, and the lady she sent it happens to be working with the company. Oh gosh. Right? And then in Ghana. Then the lady said, look, the lady confronted him and said, why are you people doing this? So, madam, it is not our intention, but we don't have what to eat. Yeah. If we don't do it, how do you expect us to survive? Yeah. And the guy said on tape, I am a graduate. I have graduated. I have no job. I need to feed my family. I need to feed. What do I do? Then the woman was like, you should not be targeting the poor people. You should be targeting the minister. Okay, we don't have the minister's numbers. Give us the minister's number and we'll stop targeting. So you will realize that this is a person who was frankly speaking desperate. Trying to be poor. So actually, our leaders, we need a rethink, and we need to re-educate ourselves. Yeah.
Well, listeners, a bit there. I'll come to Yomi for his contribution on that. But I might also say that the cabals are those sponsoring the vandalism. Yeah. Those who know they are getting something out of that. Was stop the people to go and then go and do that. Yeah.
Well, somebody here says also, according to only the God of creation says, the British write and direct the script being played by the Fulani cabals by its High Commissioner. And likewise, it says, as the British has been ruling the contraction ever since they acclaimed 1960 independence, which was just a flag of independence. Just as we can say that the visit of Kate, Duchess, and Prince William to Jamaica is creating a lot of controversy and conversation.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to the renditioning of NNAMDI, I mean, what has the British government actually said about it? Because I'm just looking at the case where just a week ago, they were able to bring 2 people from Iran. I mean, and how much government has paid? 100 million. Now, if somebody is a citizen of this country and was relinquished in another country, taken to that place, what has the British government said so far, or the foreign office? Do you know?
Actually, the foreign office hasn't said anything to the person. But actually, in all hands, yes, I'm going. Again, I go back to that lady's issue. You see, the government was interested in that, and how, I mean, arguably, I mean, the campaign that was waged, and I still will take a lot of lessons from what Boris Johnson said, that she was there to train. So, in my view, I mean, the government was committed. If it is a case that government was involved, we know there are a lot of times these aid workers, charity workers are all trained spies to gather information. I mean, especially if they want to topple the government or, I mean, possible unrest. And that's what they do. I mean, on last week on the flight back to the UK, it wasn't the lady alone that was on the flight.
Yeah, there was another man.
The man from his name is even
Keshan or Kes.
Louis Sham right here.
Yeah.
We didn't hear about him.
Yeah.
The third one has been used. We didn't hear about him. But this lady was always in the news. Right? And like you say, NNAMDI KANU is a British Nigerian.
Yeah.
Just like that woman was a British Iranian.
Yeah.
I believe from what I know, NNAMDI KANU has actually denounced his Nigeria passport. So he's not even using it at all.
He might denounce it. Look, I mean, the lady who joined the terrorists, the wife of ISIS.
Yeah. Begum. Begum. Yeah, I forgot her first name. Shamima Begum.
First, she was not a national of any country, but she was being forced to be a national of Bangladesh. That is what. So NNAMDI KANU can denounce Nigeria.
They can force you that you are still.
I mean, it has to be the influence the government or the system has. Actually, it has to be that if the system does not have interest in you, forget it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Interesting. But from the KANU camp, have they said anything that maybe the foreign office have gotten in touch with them or anything? Now that they are saying that he denounced Nigerian citizenship, so he's now solely a British citizen. Yeah.
Well, the camp to KANU, I've always says that the British High Commission in Nigeria has not done much. Even during an interview with the High Commissioner in Nigeria, she literally tried to avoid that communication. I was even expecting that the visit of the Minister for Africa, Vicky Folsom, about a few weeks back to Nigeria, will also be part of the conversation. Maybe those conversations were behind closed door, but as far as I can say, that the current situation is that NNAMDI KANU legal team, are not really too happy that there's not much engagement from the British counterpart on this case.
Okay. Now, a quick one from Sunday. Do we have any updates? Is it still in Benin? What is it doing when it comes to? I mean, we know that the UN gives that cover for political.
Archie, the UN gives that cover. I keep on telling you, it has to be an interest. It has to be an interest. You see, you're gonna even understand what the UN body is there for. Who are the who control? Actually, there are strings behind the scenes. That before decisions are taken, a lot of things have gone beyond the scenes. NNAMDI KANU, do they have interest in Nigeria? For all you know, he's been seen as his number. I mean, they don't know him as NNAMDI KANU, they know him by his passport number. So for him, it's a digit. For them, it's a digit. Unless they have interest, then they can put a face to that digit and then begin to look at him as a human being. I tell you one thing. Just last week, Cambridge Uni issued a statement on some development in Ghana. Why? Because the guy is a student.
Oh yeah.
The guy is a student. How to the interest they have, we do not know. But it took a university to be interested in what the government is doing to someone, a foreign student, in their We do not know.
Yeah, it's true.
There are things that happen behind the scenes. Actually, so when it comes to some of these politicking and other things, sometimes we tell people it's okay. Look, it's a risk. You either have to go in knowing that no one will be behind you, and you are taking that risk as a freedom fighter to state your case, to make your case, and make sure that even if you die, you live on, right? Or, I mean, be ready to stay back or work your way and to make sure you solidify some ground before you move. Knowing what I know about this Amazonian issue, actually, things make sense.
Wow. I might just say his brand is absolutely right. Now, Yomi.
Well, yesterday there was a media town hall meeting from the self-determination. Again projecting, the petition, the 5 million that has now been, a kind of a top of the town, across the globe, so that 5 million can be, can be get as quickly as possible, and that would then be part of a presentation, in the due of this self-determination on behalf of the Yoruba. But you did ask
5 million signatures.
5 billion signature petition. So it's not a referendum, it's just a petition. But you did ask, Chief Sunday IGBOHO, and he also sent his message to all his fans around the world on behalf of his spokesman yesterday that was also delivered. Currently, yes, he's still in Benin Republic, but yes, they still have that protection from the government of Beninese while he's still there.
Okay. UN only protect their interests, Abayo says. And how true is that?
I mean, that's what they do. Actually, all these international bodies, World Trade Organization, IMF, World Bank, International Finance Corporation, and all those, actually, they are set up to pursue the interests of those who set up, those who set them up. And they make decisions. Today there was a news item somewhere. I think one of the Arsenal players is in the news. Was questioning what the difference between Ukraine war, what is happening in Ukraine, and what is happening in Yemen.
Oh yeah.
Another person raised the question: what is the difference between Holocaust and slavery? Are you getting me? In fact, more people suffered under slavery than the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So the question is, why are we so apprehensive when Holocaust? But we normalize it when it comes to slavery. As we speak today, bombs are being dropped from Yemen. No one is talking about it. I'm not just trying to warn you, but you see, when those who establish those international bodies, when it favors them, the whole world must come around. And all they are waiting for now is for you, China to say, we will not support Russia for everywhere what to stay. And that's it. If China today says, okay, Russia at this time, they'll be telling where
they will start bombing.
They'll be telling where
Okay, Amaya says UN is controlled by US, UK, France, China, Russia, and Canada. They only protect their interests. How true is that? Okay, Yomi, before we go.
Well, now that you have Archie, Frank there, they will be taking you through, the last segment on this particular morning show. But I'll be back again same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Let us, stay tuned for more news and updates around the globe. I say very good morning, and I'll be back again. Thank you very much to all our listeners from different parts of the globe, from Nigeria, from different part of the continent this morning. I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr in the UK.